Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to episode 8 of the Keepers of the Flame League here on Ruthless SSF. I had a really juiced up race course, so I figured I'd just run it with some scarabs, try to get some map drops. My main goal for today is to either get a Watchstone or just set myself up to get one. I really just want to hit that first stone because as soon as you get the first one, it makes it so much easier to get the second. And once you have your Watchstones, life becomes so much easier. You can actually drop a bunch of like map increase nodes on your tree, which means you can spend points on league mechanics you actually care about, which is a pretty big deal. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you near the end. The big dream for today is to obviously get my Watchstones done, or at least one of them, but I'm also doing some 3-to-1s, trying to get a support gem that I really need. Ideally, I'd get Fist of War or even Pulverize. Either of them would feel incredible on this character. I took down my first Elder Guardian, which was pretty easy, honestly. I didn't really have any too crazy mods on it or anything like that. And it's kind of funny, like, for a while there I was debating taking off the Warcry mastery that regains your health when you use a Warcry, but I'm really glad I kept it on because the quality of life is pretty high on that. I got my first Riga Orb of the League, which is pretty awesome. And I made a I made a call here. I could have gotten a completion from Kirak, but a tier 12 Untainted Paradise is just way too good to pass up on. I started with 21% XP and I ended with 64, which felt amazing. Alright, I'm gonna stop being greedy. Like, it's so hard because this node is not only incredible at giving me some damage, but whenever I switch to Sand Stance, it actually feels really good during Fortresses, but I'm so tired of dying to Porcupines, you guys are right. I don't know, it's so hard because it's so much value, but alright, we'll be smart. I ended up completing my last tier 11 thanks to Kirak, and every little point we get at this point is just huge quality of life. I already have all the like map stuff I need, which feels incredible, of course, but now I just want to start getting stuff like, Alpha, start blocking league mechanics I don't want to see, and as you can see here, I just need 2 more points, and I have all the Alpha stuff that really matters. Eventually, I will also take the nodes that increase the time you get for killing mobs, which makes doing all of the incursions way easier, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I got my first pretty decent ring. It's still not good enough for me to wear right now, but I am not complaining. And I'm still not getting any Foulborns from my tree. I mean, I've gotten like 1 or 2, but very rarely have I gotten any, which makes sense. They're supposed to be really strong, but it's kind of funny that the only time I really get them is when I'm actually doing a fortress. I'm not having any problems in mapping right now. I'm doing like, tier 12, tier 13. I'm running them as rippy as I really can. I'm trying to gain XP while also, gaining a lot of loot at the same time. I got an Immortal Belt, which is pretty cool. Probably not going to use that for a very long time. If anything, I'll probably just use it for leveling, but, it's still a good find regardless. And getting a couple runes here. I actually got a really nice one here. Reduce your attributes for 40% increased defenses. I could totally see running that on this character eventually, but definitely not right now. I hit level 84, and honestly, you got a nice little temple here. It's not crazy, but it's pretty good. So all this time, I thought I only selected the mastery for axes, the one that deals with stances, because I thought it was the most efficient point. I kind of forgot there's another reason I take that node instead of destroying corpses. It kind of is a little too much for my computer to handle. I actually had to turn the graphics down a little bit because I was lagging pretty badly. I mean, like, it's not, like, so bad that you can't play or anything, but I don't know. It kind of looks pretty rough. I might just go back to it anyway and just deal with it. But it's kind of funny that all this time I thought I was just super greedy and just wanted more damage and, like, quality of life. But no, it's more about, my computer might die. Yeah, I decided I don't care. I'm going to take the FPS hits. It just looks so much more clean like this. But if you see, like, you can kind of notice it during big packs. It kind of, like, freezes a little bit for a second. It's not that bad. I think I was overreacting a little bit. But it is kind of funny that just that one change really does hit my PC kind of hard. For my unique swap, I did go for a belt. I was going to do a wand again, but if I could get a perseverance, that would be incredible on this character. I mean, obviously the attack speed is only so good with Earthquake, but it will feel really nice. Plus, it gives you a nice little chunk of armor as well, which I am desperately in need of. My vessels were pretty terrible. My first 2 at least dropped a support gem, and the third one, if I can click on it, dropped nothing. So I kind of felt guilty about wasting my first lens, and I really don't want Alva to be mad at me. So I used 14 gem cutter prisms on this dual strike that I have, which was probably a waste, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I was originally just gonna double corrupt my molten shell, but I think Alpha would be mad. So, oh man, Yeah, that would have hit. The boss, unfortunately, was also not very productive, but at least I did take it down. It's kind of funny, last league, this belt would actually have been incredible, but not anymore. Got a pretty decent pair of boots here. Again, not really a good base for this character, but that's fine. Another tier 12 done, another point on the tree. I really like to, I don't know, probably not yet. I think maybe if I go for a Watchstone first, but I'd really like to just chill and push out some levels for this character, but not yet. So I've just been testing some stuff on tier 10, tier 11 maps, because I did have a GPU update, like a driver update this morning that I did, and I was hoping maybe that was the source of my FPS drop. But as you can see here, I don't have the mastery on, and obviously my FPS is nothing crazy. I have a pretty old PC, but like it's noticeably different. But the thing is though, like the time that the mastery makes me lag the most is during huge fights like this. But as you can see, I'm still lagging regardless. So I think I'm still going to keep it on. It is a little awkward. I am sorry if it's a little more jarring to look at, but not much I can do about it. And the way I'm going to look at it, it's kind of just like, you know, a little extra challenge. I love running forts. It's so satisfying and rewarding. I will say though, I'm a little concerned that as I start rolling more characters and playing more janky trash, I'm a little scared that I'm not going to be able to complete these on most of the characters I make. But I mean, I kind of like that. It's kind of like a challenge of way, like, you know, you have to like look at your character and what would normally work, you have to like change it for this league. I kind of like when that happens. Also, I'm totally aware that you can control click. If you remember during the Mercenary League, I was also not doing that. It's kind of hard to explain, but sometimes, like, I don't know, it's just more gratifying to me to, like, actually, like, click and put stuff in and then click on it to get the loot out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm old or stupid, but it just feels comfortable, and that's why I do it. Alright, last time I talk about my performance issues, I reverted the driver just to see if it made a difference, and yeah, it's immediately a lot better. Obviously, it's not perfect, like I've said before, I have a slower system. It's still good enough for PoE, of course. But yeah, I reverted the driver update, and everything is so much better. So yeah, if you ever have the same problem as me, get rid of the driver, because it sucks. If I sound a little off in this video, I do apologize. I have a horrible migraine. It's pretty normal for me as the seasons change. I just get hit with these chronic, insane migraines. So I do apologize. But anyway, as you saw, I did another fortress. Got a sacrifice gem, which is pretty terrible, but you know, it's 3-to-1 bait. Decide to once again spend all my money and try and six socket. And you know what? I actually got it. So naturally decided to take all my fusings and try to 6-link. If I could, like, honestly, a 6-link would obviously be ridiculous and insane, but I would just be so happy with a 5-link, because even with, like, a bad support like MAME or whatever, it would give me so much damage. And we failed. So I decided to spend the rest of my jewelers and buy some more fusings, because, you know, what's the point of having these? And at this point, like, there's nothing more important I could do for this character than spend these and try to get a 5-link. And I failed again. Completed another tier 13 to get more points on my tree. It dropped the scattering report, I got my invite, and I got the last big alpha node, which makes everything so much better. So now I can just like kill either architect when I want, start actually setting up my temples the way I want them to be. I'm not done with the alpha points, but I'm going to chill with those for a little while. Got some more runes, and I got my second regal of the league, which is very nice. I don't have anything to regal yet, but I mean, trust me, when I get the chance, I will be wasting them. Just a little heads up for this week. I'll mention it once or twice, you know, throughout the week, just as a reminder. I will not be here this Friday. For the first time in like 5 years, I actually am in the financial situation to actually go play a pre-release. It's still kind of sketchy. Back in my day, you know, like 5 years ago, pre-releases were like 20 bucks. Now it's $45, which is pretty intense. But whatever, so there won't be a video on Saturday. There might not be one on Friday, but it really depends. But I just want to let you know, and I'll remind you again later this week. I ended up dying to a lag spike, which was pretty depressing. At least it wasn't FPS, and eventually I do end up changing servers, which makes everything better. But it was pretty frustrating dying there, but it is what it is. I kind of expect to lose XP when I'm doing these rippy maps for completions. I finished blocking the only two things I'm going to block this league. I blocked Ultimatum and Expedition because I hate Expedition. It's terrible. And I do not like Ultimatum. I've never liked it, and I'm not going to start liking it now. I finally dropped a tier 16 map, and you know what that means. If I complete the map, I can finally go fight my first Watchstone. If I could even just get one of them, I'll be really happy. But anyway, I ended up dropping 2 in total from the map. I found one, which was fine, and the second one bricked. Unfortunately, I cannot do Fizz Reflect, and I am literally just one off of doing the roll from Harvest, so whatever. If I can at least go fight and get one Watchstone, I'll be pretty happy. It does suck that the other one bricked, but it is what it is. So apparently the Breach bosses can also drop a Fizz Reduction Implicit Ring, which is kind of wild, to be honest with you. I mean, granted, it's only 3%, so it's not like game breaking or anything like that, but I could definitely see that being used on some characters later on. But anyway, I went and fought the Quest Eater of Worlds, and it was an absolute joke. I did die once because I wanted to see if I could face tank the big slam, which I could not. But yeah, the fight was really easy. We have our first Watchstone, which is a pretty big deal for me right now. If I can just get one more, I'll be able to respec like 10 points on my tree. And if I get to do that, that is going to be very good for me because it's going to open up a lot of flexibility and I can start like specking into more league mechanics. I did another tier 16 just to get my other invite, and I also dropped my first memory map. And I was pretty proud that I went through this map so easily, and then I looked at the map mods, and it was probably the easiest memory map I have ever seen in my life. No damage, no turbo, no, like, tankiness, nothing. So I can't even be proud that I crushed this boss, because there was, like, no difficulty at all. Immediately after that, I went and fought the Searing Exarch because I really wanted to get my second Watchstone, like I've already talked about. If you get your second Watchstone, you can respec a bunch of nodes, which is a pretty big deal. And so far, the character felt really good during the fight. It has enough movement speed where dodging the first ball phase was pretty easy. Now, obviously, it's just the questing Searing Exarch, so it's not as crazy as like the real one. But it still felt really good. Even in the second ball phase, which is usually where I end up getting killed, I actually got through it without dying. I will say one thing, though. I did get hit by a few of them, and I kind of feel like they nerfed the balls during the quest Searing Exarch. Because normally if I get hit by like one of them, I die, and I got hit by like three. So I don't know what's going on there, but whatever. I did end up dying once in the fight because I stood on some dots like an idiot. But overall, the fight was really easy, and we took him down. 2 Watchstones. My life is going to get a whole lot easier now. Finally. Hey, made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. I pretty much have no XP, I've been deleting all my experience just by running really rippy tier 15, tier 16 maps. My plan right now, since we actually completed both my Watchstones, I'm going to drop a bunch of nodes, obviously, because you only need 50% chance for +1, because each Watchstone gives you 25, so that's going to save me quite a few points on the tree. I'm obviously going to finish off the Alpha stuff because I love Incursion. But other than that, I'm not too sure yet. I have already blocked 2 league mechanics that I hate. I'm honestly considering, like, even taking some smuggler stash stuff. Because I'm going to be honest, now that you don't have to do those stupid, annoying quests, Heist just does not seem that bad to me anymore. In terms of the fights for the Watchstones, I was doing amazing at the Searing Exarch fight. I'm still not sure if they nerfed the ball phase, but I don't remember being able to tank that many. And it's not like I'm a tanky character or anything. I have 76 fire res and like 3.9k life. Not really sure how I was tanking those, but anyway. The other fight was a breeze. Obviously, the Eater is definitely the easier of the two. But I didn't die at all. It was a really good time. It was pretty funny. The big hand slam was basically the DPS equivalent of one of my earthquake attacks. So it was like every, like, I don't know, what's the cooldown on this thing? Where is this? So yeah, like every 10 seconds, I basically got an extra attack hitting them, which wasn't a lot of damage, but it did add up over time. I am sorry about my voice. It's going to get worse and then better over the next few months. Whenever we transition any season at all, it messes me up pretty bad. Anyway, though, my currency, I have 100 chance orbs, which is pretty funny. The 2 divines that I'm going to try really hard not to waste. I am very happy that we actually ended up getting the 6 socket on this axe. Wait, hold on. We got to try. One of these days. One of these days. But I do actually have a level 3 for Risi in the safe house. So if I ever get that safe house done, I will get a free, like, I think it's 10 or 20 fuses on this. Even if this hits a 5 link, it's going to be a ridiculous DPS jump for me. Now, obviously, I don't have Fist of War, and I obviously don't have the other one. I always forget this one, Pulverize. But if I get either of those, we're going to be sitting pretty. The rest of my gear has not changed at all. It's still pretty bad. Now, I do want to clarify something. I was talking about Carnage Heart in the other video. I don't hate Carnage Heart. I just want a better amulet. There's definitely a lot of builds where you can just use this the entire time. This character is not one of them. It's just not that good for me. Obviously, like the attributes is ridiculous. It probably saves me like 2 points on the tree, but I definitely want to change it. The belt is pretty funny. It does give you a lot of life and a tiny bit of damage. But again, I'd really like to have. Actually, you know what? I might be able to keep the belt if I can get some really good jewelry. Actually, this ring's not that bad. If I can get some good jewelry and like some decent gloves, I could probably keep the belt just for a little bit of damage. Other than that, I do have a another memory map, my Cortex, which I am not going to be running for a while. If I 5-link the axe, I'll try it. I just don't think this character is going to do a good job at it. I have to keep rerolling this tier 16, but I'm really not complaining. Now that I have 2 Watchstones, life is going to be so much easier. Again, I have to drop a bunch of points for the +1 chance. I can even drop like one of the shaping things, but I'm using Purity of Elements, so it's basically free right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna work on my Atlas. Actually, you know what? I might try and just push for level 85 and then work on the Atlas. Because if you look at it, we're pretty close to done. Wait. Alright, I'm missing 1 tier 12. I'm missing 2 tier 14s, most of the 15s and 16s. But other than that, we're pretty much done. 91 completions and 99 points, which feels really nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow.